From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Trial continued this morning in Fairbanks Superior Court.
That's right. We've been covering the trial as Kevin Pease, Eugene Vent, Marvin Roberts, and George Freeze continue to maintain they are innocent of the crime they've served 18 years in jail for.
We have more now in this report.
This morning's proceedings began with a taped deposition of another former high school student talking about his encounter with the man the petitioners claim really killed John Hartman.
It was probably a full minute, which isn't that long, but when someone's pounding on another person's face, it's a really long time.
Joshua Sorensen, no longer a Fairbanks resident, talked to attorneys about the brutal beating his brother suffered at the hands of Jason Wallace. Now, this happened only months before John Hartman was beaten to death on the corner of 9th and Barnett Street in 97.
Jason is punching and kicking my brother in the face full force. I mean, as hard as a human possibly can hit someone, he's hitting my brother. But this isn't like a normal fist fight. I mean, he hurt my brother really bad. So it was very obvious when someone's talking about beating someone, and he broke his nose, smashed a bunch of sinuses in his face. I mean, he beat him really. I mean, you couldn't even recognize him on one side of his face.
Despite reporting the beating to Fairbanks Police Department, no actions were ever taken against Wallace.
No, the guy in that meeting literally told me my brother got what he deserved for going out there.
But it was his slang that stood out today in the courtroom, as Bill Holmes had previously testified to on day one.
I stole on you. I stole on you is what he kept saying, whatever that means. That one statement, because he said it over and over.
The last of the Fairbanks Four took to the stand this morning as well. His emotional testimony recounted his interaction with Fairbanks police detectives Geyer and Ring the morning after Hartman was found beaten on the sidewalk.
I kept trying to say I was doing violent things, and I kept telling them I wasn't there.
Roberts outlined his night, which consisted of, according to him, driving friends to and from the Eagles Hall, where he danced and hung out, and later ended when he returned alone to his house. Just days after, he would be arrested and charged with the murder and assault of Hartman.
I was innocent, and I kept telling them that. Pounding on the door, and Fairbanks Police, we have a search warrant, something along those lines. We were all scared and surprised.
This is Stephanie Woodard reporting.
Late this afternoon, Judge Paul Lyle ordered that the grant of immunity for Jason Wallace from the Attorney General stand. Wallace will testify for the state, who is expected to begin arguments early next week.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly swore in the mayor-elect, assembly members, and members of the IGU board last night. Following a formal farewell from Mayor Luke Hopkins, the Assembly approved ordinances involving marijuana businesses and bench repairs at Groudon Memorial Park. Ryan Grimes has that story.
Mayor-elect Carl Castle formally resigned his position as the Assembly's presiding officer and as chair on Seat I. The seat will remain empty until another member of the public is appointed.
So Monday morning, I'm in a different chair.
Borough Clerk Nancy Ashford Bingham swore in Castle and other members that won the people's vote during municipal elections. Castle says the transition to mayor is being made seamless thanks to outgoing Mayor Luke Hopkins.
We've been both attending meetings for the past 2 weeks here together to help with the transition, so that I can ask questions of him after a meeting about what transpired and get up to speed on things. So we're going to have, I think, a pretty seamless transition, which is a good thing for the community. It isn't always that way.
Hopkins wished Castle good luck during his last comments as mayor.
As the mayor 6 years ago did to me, this time the incoming mayor will have a list rather than just a stack of papers.
The Assembly got back to business by approving legislation that specifies zoning laws for cannabis businesses in the borough. Hopkins sponsored the ordinance, which restricts dispensaries in urban areas and provides buffering near surrounding zones. However, it also makes it easier for marijuana operations to start up in general, commercial, industrial, and agricultural zones. Assemblywoman Diane Hutchison was the only member to vote against the ordinance.
I can tell you that no part of Groudon Park needs demolition. And yet, I'm not sure why we're talking about demolition, as the subject is for the repairs.
Gold Panthers GM Todd Dennis voiced his concerns regarding maintenance at Groudon Memorial Park. He says in order to appropriate funds to tear down old and unsafe bleachers there would mean the destruction of historical property. He says there are better ways to make the baseball park safe for visitors.
I mean, there's many other options that can be done. We don't need to jump right into something when we haven't had even a single official engineering report, a look at other options. There's an $8 solution of roping off a certain area if that's a concern. There's just all kinds of other ways to take care of an issue of demolition, and so I'd like to make sure that we're focused on the issue of repair.
After discussion, the Assembly voted unanimously to appropriate $80,000 to take down the bleachers and begin repairs. This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
When we come back, a new nonprofit agency has opened in town that helps those that have lost loved ones from suicide and helps others.
Also, even though Halloween is more than a week away, we have ideas on what you can do next Saturday night to celebrate the special occasion. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The former executive director of the Alaska Intertribal Council has been ordered to prison. 44-year-old Stephen Osborne of Fairbanks and his co-defendant Thomas Purcell pleaded guilty in April to the theft of funds from an organization receiving federal funding. Osborne was originally accused of stealing about $236,000, but as part of a plea deal, he only admitted to stealing $5,000. He was ordered to serve 21 months in prison and pay $145,000 in restitution to AITC.
A fundraising dinner will be held Saturday at Pikes for the Arctic Resource Center for Suicide Prevention located on 26th Avenue. The money raised will help with programs and services offered by the center. The suicide rate in Alaska is one of the highest in the country. The suicide deaths of 4 people in Hooper Bay within a short period of time recently emphasized the need for ways to deal with the problem. The people on the center's board of directors knows about suicide firsthand. Reverend Jim Wislin says the purpose of the center is twofold.
We want to reach out to those people who have suffered the loss to suicide. We want to try to come alongside them, support them, encourage them, whatever we can do for them.
Everyone that is on our board and in our center is a survivor of suicide, meaning that we've all lost someone to suicide or have been close to somebody who has.
Alaska State Troopers will be conducting special DUI overtime enforcement patrols this coming weekend to ensure the safety of Alaskans celebrating Halloween. Local law enforcement agencies will also participate in the enhanced enforcement efforts from Friday, October 30th through Sunday, November 1st. The ramped-up holiday enforcement will focus on drivers impaired by alcohol or drugs. Funding for the focused enforcement is coordinated through the Alaska Office of Highway Safety.
With the Halloween season here, there are a lot of fun things going on around Fairbanks, and Sarah Dubowski has the report.
October in Fairbanks marks the season of bundling up and transforming into your favorite monster for Halloween. Get ready for scary ghosts, minion costumes, and lots of sugar. Fairbanks voted, and these are the top 3 things to do this Halloween season. The first on the list is an all-ages event at Pioneer Park. The park will be transformed this Saturday to trick-or-treat town with kid-friendly decorations and no gore. This spooktacular event will host a list of things to do, including a spooky train, trick-or-treating, and a costume party.
Pretty much this is a grassroots effort that started with a group of families and community members, and then sponsors joined in. This isn't a professional company in any way. It's just a lot of local people just coming together to create a safe place for children on Halloween.
The next on the list is the Fairbanks Asylum. The asylum is in its 4th year now and has frights down to a science. The haunt has over 25 actors working the scare, and the new theme this year is Rise of the Pumpkin King.
They did a great job this year. All the props were really realistic, and I mean, we were scared. Everybody I went with was scared, and I would definitely go back.
The final attraction has 18 years under its belt for bringing you a wild night of fun. The Blue Loon hosts a 21 and older party on Halloween night. There will be music, dancing, and a costume contest.
We decorate the place really well, and we have a lot of great lighting, and there's a lot of people, and there's usually a line out the door, so, you know, come early. And we have a couple DJs and a lot of people in great costumes, and almost everybody dresses up, and I'm amazed at the imagination that people show at this stuff.
Sarah Dubowski reporting.
All right, Joe Cook is next with sports, and we'll hear from the Alaska cross country team as they get set for the conference championship meet.
Also, all conference high school football teams and the play of the week next after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with your local Friday Sportscast. Saturday, the Alaskan Annex cross-country teams will try to do something they've never done. Win a conference title. Saturday is the GNAC Cross-Country Championships. On one side, the UAA men will aim for their 6th straight title. The women won 6 in their last 7 years, while UAF is looking for their first. The Nooks were picked to finish 9th this season. The men's team finished 7th a year ago, and the women's team finished 8th overall. Dorothy O'Donnell and Callie Stryker will lead the Natick women. Seiji Tagaji and Keegan Rankin return as the top conference championship runners for last year as well for the men's team. The GNAC championship starts Saturday at 9 a.m. with the women's race, and the men's race is at 10 a.m. in Eastlake Paddington Park in Bellingham, Washington.
We can definitely place a lot higher this year. If we with our new coach, I think we're adapting pretty well, and I think as a team we'll do pretty well in like the GNAC and regions meet. I think we could run some pretty fast times there and place pretty high as a team.
Definitely being a lot more competitive in GNAC. I'm hoping to see us in the top 1/2 placement wise, and for regionals definitely getting up there and being a lot more competitive than we have been.
Unfortunately, sometimes your best just isn't good enough. 2 Naniks had career days on Thursday night, but the UAF volleyball team came up short. Alaska falls in a thrilling 5-set match at Montana State Billings. As you look at the numbers, UAF rallied in the 4th to force the final set, but couldn't get closer than 2 as MSUB held on for the win. Sam Hartoon punched a GNAC season best 30 kills and hit a career high 39% clip in the loss for UAF. Miranda Greaser put up a career high 52 assists and a career high 18 digs as well, but the Yellow Jackets countered with 4 players with 10 or more kills. Alaska will be back on the road next Thursday taking on SPU. 2 interior high school teams picked up wins in volleyball on Thursday night. West Valley improves to 11-0 after sweeping the Palmer Moose on the road last night. Stella Knox led the Wolfpack with 13 kills in the win. West Valley and Lathrop will be in this weekend's Service Diamond Tournament in Anchorage. The Allison Ravens, they win in 4 sets in a conference match against Hutchinson. Emily Donovan posted a season-high 13 kills and added 5 blocks in the victory for the Ravens. Allison hosts Aurora Conference foe Valdez tonight and Saturday morning at 11:30. The high school football season ends tomorrow as West Anchorage and Chugiak will meet for the large school state final, but local players have received end of the year all-conference honors. In the Rail Belt, Lathrop's Rusty Ham was named Coach of the Year. He recently retired. In 4 seasons, Ham helped guide Lathrop to a Rail Belt title and a playoff semifinal appearance. Ji Zhang was Lineman of the Year, and Garius Maiden was named Utility Player of the Year to lead 4 other Lathrop first-teamers. West Valley also had 6 first-teamers, 3 on offense and 3 on defense. In the SEC Conference, the Patriots landed 9 first-team picks, including Zach Harrison as Lineman of the Year. Jesse Bennett was the Utility Player of the Year for the Patriots. In the Aurora Conference, the state champion Allison Ravens had 10 first-teamers. Caleb Dunlap is the Offensive Player of the Year, and Austin Edson is the Lineman of the Year. Head coach David Devon is the Coach of the Year for the Aurora Conference, and defensive coordinator Don Fry was named Assistant Coach of the Year for the state champion Allison Ravens. And here's the rundown of sports events and activities in the weekend before Halloween. If you or the kids haven't met them, the Alaskan Annex will be having a meet and greet from noon to 4 on Saturday at Kendall Subaru of Fairbanks. There will be food and tons of activities and giveaways and interaction with Nanick athletes from all sports. Roller Derby will be at Lathrop High School for the first time. Joe T. Court will hold the Fairbanks Roller Girls bout against the Rage City Orange Crush. Doors open at 5:30 on Saturday night. The Junior Derby is at 6, and the main event starts at 7 p.m. Wrestling gets started in the interior of the West Valley Red Gold one-day tournament. Matches begin at 9 a.m. with the final set for 6 p.m. at West Valley. Then Saturday night at 7:30, the Ice Dogs will wrap up their series against the Ashton Rebels with Game 2 at the Big Dipper. We end the Friday night sportscast with the play of the week. The votes were counted up, and this one goes to the local guy. Lathrop product and Ice Dogs alum Taylor Munson gets the play of the week after his Bryce Alaska Gold Rush MVP performance last weekend. Sophomore center tallied 6 points, 4 goals, and 2 assists, setting Bryce records in goals and points. He helped Alaska win their 4th straight Bryce title with a 7-2 win over AIC and a 4-2 victory over RPI. Taylor Munson earns the play of the week. To pick the next POTW, watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is up next with your weekend weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Friday night newscast. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather, and it was beautiful today. Lots of sunshine and temperatures rose over the 40-degree mark, and we're looking for the same thing tomorrow. We'll tell you about the rest of the weather in just a minute. This photograph was taken on October 10th by Mark Schulzantz, and as you can see, another beautiful shot of the auroras. I'm sure they were just going like crazy that night. As always, if you have a photograph that you want to share, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll be more than happy to share it with the rest of the audience. Here are your numbers. Actually, here's your map today on our satellite and radar. You can see once again we are looking at a little more moisture coming up from the south. We've got to keep an eye on that. It's being blocked out by the Alaska Range currently, but that might change, and the forecast is for some of that to work its way in by Sunday, maybe possibly giving us a little light snow at times, but nothing accumulative, that's for sure. While the folks over southeast Alaska are finally drying out after all that rain they had. On the map, you can see once again, there are some just mainly cloudy to partly cloudy skies over southeast Alaska after having so much rain all week long. Elsewhere, some showers around the Anchorage Bowl, Kodiak at 49, partly cloudy skies. Up and down the Aleutian chain, mainly cloudy skies at Cold Bay, 47. In the interior and the southwest part of the state, a little bit of snow shower activity to the southwest. Bethel looking at 38 degrees, 35 and partly cloudy at Nome, and Barrow 22 degrees with lots of clouds. Fort Yukon 25 and partly cloudy skies. To the lower 48 we go. Over the west coast, things are looking pretty good. A little chilly in the Seattle 55, lots of sunshine. Warming back up again in Las Vegas and Phoenix, 80 and 84. More storms moving across Texas, and you can know why, because I'm sure you've heard about that hurricane that is the all-time strongest hurricane ever recorded by the National Weather Service. Winds to 200 miles an hour. Unbelievable. We'll show you that in a satellite picture in just a minute. And across the Minneapolis area, not too bad. Showers over the deep south and over the northeast. Temperatures cooling down in New York, but warming up in Washington, D.C. Here's what's going on as we have storms that are moving in across Texas, bringing some very heavy amounts of rain. And this big band here is the outer edges of that hurricane. You'll see more of that on the news tonight. And elsewhere, you can see, once again, a lot of activity moving across the Great Lakes, bringing with it a lot of energy there. Now, over the west coast, doesn't look too bad. We're looking at, for the most part, just mainly cloudy skies, but their pattern is expected to change and bring some more rain to the west. That looks good. The overall outlook for tomorrow is calling for more heavy rain across much of Texas, all the way to Dallas. Houston could be getting close to a foot of rain, and that will continue as the jet stream is going to be very conducive to helping to move that along, but also helping to bring more cool temperatures and wet conditions over the west coast. Now, as far as what's going on our kids' weather, well, of course, today we're going to be leaving the kids and just giving you a weather fact. 1988, San Antonio, Texas set an all-time high for the date with a high reading of 93 degrees. Pretty warm for Texas. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from Hunter Elementary School. All right, what's going on across the state tomorrow? Over the northern sections, partly cloudy skies at Barrow, rain and snow in Nome. Cloudy skies with a chance of snow at Fort Yukon, and cool at Barrow, 23 degrees. For the interior, increasing clouds for Fairbanks, a chance of rain showers at Healy and Delta Junction, while over the southeast part of the state, mainly showers persisting at Juneau, and then a few scattered clouds for Ketchikan. And over the southwest part of the state, looking at rain in Cold Bay and Kodiak, and a slight chance of rain in Bethel. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, if you're heading down that way, you might want to take an umbrella. Mostly cloudy and isolated showers for Anchorage and Homer, with scattered rain showers in Valdez. And our forecast for the remainder of the night, as you can see here, clear skies and quite a bit colder than last night. Overnight low about 20 degrees. The forecast for tomorrow, for all the outdoor activities and trick-or-treat town, or Halloween town, 40 degrees for the high, a little warmer with increasing clouds. And look at the forecast for the 5 days. As you can see, temperatures cooling down to 18 degrees by next Wednesday night. Also a possibility of some snow working its way back into the picture. Maybe we'll have some snow on the ground for Halloween. And otherwise, temperatures will be right around the mid to upper 30s and then cooling down to 30 degrees all the way across the board from Tuesday on.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, some good news to pass along. Autistic kids in New York are taking a trip to the clouds thanks to a great production in New York. That's up next with Lester Holt.
Sounds good. You can tune in tomorrow night for news and sports with Fairbanks Evening News Weekend Edition.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night and good weekend.